this matchup has well, you don't really have to have any special introductions for this one, right?
Yes,
I mean,
right.
it's everything being said. No, those two played the match in New York. Those two, well, it was of course a great rivalry for them. Last year in the World Blitz and Rapid Championship, they have tied for the first in Blitz. By the way, Karjakin having the better tiebreak, so he has won it. He has won it in Qatar. Interestingly, last year there was no playoff tiebreaks.
What is the position?
Yeah, well, it was the Berlin variation, the Berlin defense in Ruy Lopez. Carlsen, well, up to bishop e3, bishop d6, everything was well known. I think bishop g5 is somewhat of a new move. At least seems like a surprise for Sergey Karjakin, because look, Carlsen is still on 306, while Karjakin has spent already full minute. So the usual idea for black in this line is to relocate the knight from f6 to d7, c5, e6, and ideally to end up on d4. And bishop g5 is fighting against that. So Karjakin goes, Magnus goes bishop g5, and then this spin is sort of annoying for black. Well, after Karjakin c5, Magnus went for knight d5, exchanged
h6.
the bishop on e7, and then
Where the bishop goes on e3.
bishop comes back to e3. So now Magnus, I believe, will try to move the knight from f3, play f4, and well, claim to have a better structure. Knight goes to d2. Yeah. Knight goes to d2, and then he'll play
Followed
f4.
f4.
Knight b8,
wants
yes,
to come
to
on
c6,
c6 and
to
d4.
d4, yes. That's still very logical. Rook takes, that's interesting. Rook takes, yet, which allows queen to go to h5, and the other rook comes to f1. All of a sudden, white gets a serious concentration of forces against black's position.
Yeah, there will be like 4 pieces
b6
for
yeah,
on the king side.
everything's on the king side.
And
Look,
black just made
rook
this
f1,
maneuver, and his knight is on the queen side.
bishop e6.
I don't like this for black.
Yeah, bishop e6 now, and then white has to come up with something. f7 pawn is hanging, so it's not much. Oh well, rook f8. After rook f8, you know, I even have ideas like the rook f6. Yeah,
yes.
I mean, it's not clear if it works, but this is something Magnus will try to make work. Even though it feels like a bit of a provocation from Karjakin, on Karjakin's side, to go rook, you know, to go rook f8. Well, maybe he wants to keep an option of queen e5. That's why. Because bishop e6 would not allow black to go queen e5, while now he has this chance. For instance, in case of rook h4, with clear idea to sacrifice, on h6,
Now another piece comes to the
knight
king.
f3. Yeah, as I said, it's an amazing concentration of white forces on the king side. So black really has to do something. Well, it could as well be that it's already a bit too late. Interestingly, this light square bishop can't really help. It seems bishop e6 does not really contribute to black's defense. Well, he ended up playing it nevertheless. Bishop goes to e6. The rook on f4 is somewhat awkward. Rook on f4 is somewhat awkward. I was actually, one of the moves I was looking at, instead of knight f3, to play rook f4 to f3 and then to put it on g3, but maybe it was too slow. Rook to h4, clearly threatening to take on h6. Queen g6,
Now
threatening bishop
h6
h6,
is
and threatening
hanging.
rook h6 in case of queen f7. So in case of queen f7, well, actually it might be acceptable for black. Queen f7 if rook h6 to swap on g6 and then go knight b4. This
yeah, I
is
think it's only
yeah,
move.
but Magnus decided not to trade. Queen goes back to g3, which is clever. You want to have pressure on black's position. However, pressure is nice, but
how to defend this h6 pawn.
yeah, it's not easy because now, yeah, bishop h6 is a threat. Bishop h6 is a threat, and also there are motifs of knight g5. Well, actually, after king h7, knight g5 wins the queen. I mean, I'm not sure if it's that good. After king h7, knight g5, and black will take with f-pawn. It's actually not that... well, no, it is clear. It's better for white. Karjakin is down to 10 seconds, so we... well, knight b4. It was too early. Because I thought
before.
Now it's possible to take the...
H6.
Take the pawn on h6. Yes, black tries, of course, to organize some counterplay with knight takes c2. Knight e5. Yeah, and now it's completely winning. Knight e5. Queen e7. Yeah, he decides to
give this queen.
To give the queen, which should be still winning. But at least, I mean, you know, these positions are not that easy sometimes because black technically has more pieces, right? Queen g6, bishop a2. This is the moment when you have to be brave. You have no chance. But, okay. And now I know how to win this. Rook h7 followed by queen h5. That's exactly what Magnus is doing. Queen h5 with mate to follow. Bishop f6 is good as well. Bishop f6 is good as well.
Yeah, and we have handshake.
Nice victory by Magnus Carlsen. Looks very smooth game from start to finish.
Yeah, very nice game.
It's a nice idea to go bishop g5 to deprive black from this maneuver with the knight, and very convincing conversion of his advantage by Magnus Carlsen, who becomes one of the leaders.